Well, it's a cold day, and I discovered something I am not thrilled about. So she's been running for a good 30 minutes. You can see the oil pressure's normalized a little bit there. Temperature is going up. Now that she's been running and warm, she actually sounds pretty good. But I have to say, gauge cluster is not the issue. So if I come out here, I'll let the stairs come out since the engine's been running. So with the cold weather, I figured I'm going to get some air in these tires. And one of the things I like the most here is this ware. I've had this thing for years. Now, not a sponsor, just saying it's something I've had, and I really like it. It has a nice long hose. So, see the hose there? I got the wand up there, and it's able to reach all my tires back there, and it just plugs right into the battery system. So all my tires are aired up, except for this one. So you can see the bulge in it. If we come up here, you can see she's broke free of the rim, which means I got to take her off and take her up and see, make sure there's no holes in it and get it rebeaded. Unfortunately, I got to find a place that could work on this size of tire. So I'll probably be doing that tonight, my research on where I could take that in. So yeah, nothing ever goes as planned. So yeah, good morning. All right, so since there is more stuff I want to do to that dash up there, I'm going to wait to fully install that gauge cluster like I mentioned in the last video. But I primarily want to get this bed frame put back in that bedroom, remounted to the floor and everything, which means I got to get that bedroom done, those walls done. But before I do that, so since I'll be blocking the cab area again, and I don't want to keep moving this bed frame back and forth just so I can start the engine, I am going to be installing a little solar panel just to keep the chassis battery charged. When I have the ARV plugged in, it does, providing you have your switches set, and you'll get a little charge going over from the house batteries to the chassis battery, but it's not really enough to really fully keep it charged. You're meant to start it and run it. That's how you keep the chassis charged. So I'm going to use this to do that. Don't really have a spot to mount it outside, so I'm going to be putting it in a window up here. And I got, it's buried underneath all this, so I got a cord that extended out. I'm going to send it through the doghouse and up to the battery. So let me get that in, and we'll go from there. All right, so now if any of you guys have the Victron, if I get a good angle at it here, that Victron battery shunt. So what you're going to want to do is your positive on the battery, your negative on the accessory side of the shunt. So what that's going to do is when solar's coming in to the battery, you could actually see the charging on the Victron app. So without it, you're not going to know how charged or anything. So where I last left off, so I had the bed pulled out, and before the surgery I didn't film it, but I pulled all the staples and all that out of the floor. And where I'm at now is these upper cabinets, as you can see back here. You know, they can probably use getting that section of the wall taken off. but it is hard to see in here how these are attached. I'll probably have to remove this bottom plate to get to that stuff. And if you look here, these are rusted, so they're going to be a joy to get out. I may end up having to rebuild these anyways. Some of this is peeling. Like this piece is good. That face is peeling off that. All this middle section is good. Don't have any issues with that section either. It's directly the corners on both sides and then around the windows. And then with this one's the worst because that bathroom skylight leaked, so down that area is bad. Another one of those older lovely 90s TVs. That still works too. But I'll be getting rid of that. So I am ready to start ripping that back bedroom apart. Finish getting that rebuilt. These cabinets are going to be a pain, but they need to come down, even if I have to rip them apart. I'm trying to save as much material as I can, so I don't have to rebuild a lot of stuff, but if I have to, I will. Some things you just can't help. I did with moving stuff forward and everything. I did keep the area around the fireplace clear. This way, if I am working in here during the winter and I decide to light that up, I can, and I don't have to worry about something getting too hot and catching fire. So, plus. So let me get you set up, find my drill and stuff, and we'll start getting those ripped apart. Well, it's a new day. You can hear the furnace running in the background. It is currently 39 degrees outside. I was not expecting that. It's supposed to get colder. And I think it's supposed to get below freezing temperatures. But I'm going to show you where I ran into the issue the other night. So just for an example here, I put that guy up there. You can see how close that is to the ceiling there. My drill bit can't grab that on top of the drill, and it's too close to the wall or the ceiling steel for me to get a screwdriver up there. So I got this guy. Still a little tight, but this one, if I can do it one-handed. Okay, couldn't do it one-handed, but this guy, the attachment I put on here has a little adjustable floppy piece. So now, if I get that in there, straight, doesn't line up very well. Crooked, she does. So I'm gonna give this a try because I got 3 screws left to get this cabinet out. Alright, now that that is out, you can see that I'm going to have some reconstruction, but I have that as a template. Now I can finish ripping that side out so I get that wall replaced. There's that screw that was in there. Now, the rest of this is staying. With this back wall being fine, it's this here going around. And what I need to replace with this back wall isn't going to be all the way over. So I won't have to take too much of that out. One down, 4 more to go. Never said taking these cabinets out would be easy, but they're getting to be a chore. I'm too fat to be down here on my knees trying to squirm into these little tight holes. But let me get back to it. Now with this, unfortunately, I got in here. I got to clean up my mess, but so there are screws down and around, but it doesn't matter. I still cannot, even when I removed those, I could not lift this up and out. So I'm wondering if it is the same thing. How this one was, is it's screwed in from the outside as well, which is possible because they built these in layers, and the way that everything overlaps with the ceiling here, which actually I could show you over here. There you go, right there. It's just like it's all overlapped, and they put the walls on, they put the roof on last. So yeah, I'm going to call it here for the night. I am going to pick this back up though tomorrow after work, but I will get back with you in just a little bit. So the last few hours I've been working on getting all this cleaned out, all this old stuff, and you can see there's the frame. She's showing some rust. So other than the window and that section there, this side is done being peeled. Move that back, and I went ahead and did this here. That's, I don't step on stuff. That's actually the styrofoam there. But I'm about ready to start ripping this one out. And other than, you know, up here and around the AC unit, I got all the ceiling done around to that line there, which I'll be cutting that out as well. This is going underneath the cabinets there, so I'm going to cut it, but I need to find a stapler because inside might pull away, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to staple that in there. So let me get my tripod set up, and I'll start pulling the window out. All right, so the main reason why I put the trim back on around the window is because that's actually what holds the window in the wall. So I went ahead and sanded around. So that is done. I don't have to worry about taking that back off until I'm ready to start replacing the wood material. All right, guys, with that window screwed back in, I'm going to have to call it here for the night. I have some family getting together for their Christmas. This is the best time that everyone could get together, so a little late, but better than never, I guess. So we're going to be getting together, which means I'm going to have to put a stop for working on the RV for this week, but I will be picking back up next week, trying to finish out this wall and getting to work on the other wall, hopefully, and weather permitted. So until then, if you like the video, please leave a comment, ask any questions, whatever, and I will see you in the next video. Later.